Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money. In this video, I'll tell you about my first adventure in Portugal, a country I have come to love. Here, my friend and I spent a couple of weeks as she shows me around her hometown and the city of Porto. I'll give you tips about my favorite places to go, our flight costs, how I booked a rental car, and my favorite foods to try. If you are new here, I have created this channel to help you learn about how to travel, adventure, and have fun on the road to financial independence. I have traveled the world both solo and duo. I paid off a house in Spain, plus I have worked smarter and harder to help me move toward financial independence. I believe that the road to financial freedom can and should be fun. I hope that you'll subscribe and join me on this journey, no matter where you are starting from. I mentioned in a recent video that I started traveling with my friend Barbs, who happened to be from Portugal. The first leg of our journey was for 6 weeks in Spain. From there, we stopped in the neighboring country of Portugal, so Barbs could show me around and I could see the magnificent place that she is from. We booked flights from Alicante, Spain to Porto, Portugal for $108 per person. To reduce the cost of our travel, we used one checked bag for both of us, and each of us had a carry-on. So the total for both of us was $216 and included the bags I just mentioned. We were flying Ryanair, which is a budget airline in Europe, based out of the UK. My house in Spain is just an hour away from 2 different major cities, so it gives me a lot of great options for cheap flights. It isn't uncommon to be able to find a flight between Spain and Portugal for less than $50, sometimes in the 20s. I've probably mentioned in videos before that for car rentals in Europe, I almost always use Skyscanner. I've always been able to find good deals in Spain and Portugal. I'll usually do a few different searches. Sometimes even changing the time of day can lower the price. But if you keep coming back day after day, you'll end up raising the prices because the algorithm either knows that your dates are set or it makes it seem like the demand is higher when you keep searching. So I usually only do that when I'm ready to book. We booked a car for the 11 days we would be there, and the pickup and drop-off were easy and within walking distance of the Porto airport. Fortunately, I was traveling with a Portuguese local, so in this case, she did most of the driving for us since she knew her way around. We stayed with her parents in the village she is from, which is just a bit outside of Porto. Living with locals isn't something I've done much of with my travels, but it gives you an authentic experience like no other. Portuguese is not exactly an easy language to learn, and I struggled more than I had with Spanish or French, but the Portuguese people are wonderful and very hospitable and patient with English-only speakers like myself. We kicked off our time there by going to a football match, my first real soccer game. We went to see Porto play Liverpool in the Porto Stadium, and what an experience that was. The energy was so great, and I began to understand for the first time what fans of soccer really love about it. One of the fun things about this visit was that we happened to be there over the Easter holiday weekend. 2 years before, I had spent Easter in Greece on the island of Rhodes. Then in 2018, I spent it at my home in Spain. Having 3 back-to-back experiences in different European countries was really something special. In the US, the Easter holiday is so commercialized, but in Europe it is far more traditional and there seems to just be more reverence around it. Easter Monday is also a day that is generally taken as a holiday. I remember my friend's mom coming to greet me that Sunday morning with tears in her eyes to wish me a happy Easter. It was a very sweet experience. We spent several days in Porto, exploring this incredible city. Porto is the second largest city in Portugal, and it is located on the Douro River that meets the Atlantic Ocean there. If you enjoy port wine, then you'll definitely want to have some during your visit in Porto, which is where port wine is exported from and is named after the city. Portugal itself is bordered by France, Spain, and the Atlantic Ocean. The waves here are magnificent, and some of the world's best surfing competitions happen off of the coast of Portugal. I enjoyed visiting the beachside town of Espinho. You can enjoy a coffee or some delicious sushi while watching the waves roll in. Speaking of food, Portugal is a great place to visit for seafood lovers. I am a vegetarian now, but on this first visit to Portugal, I got to try some of the fresh seafood from the area, most often prepared by my friend's mother. Wow, is she an amazing cook. It's too bad for you that if you're visiting, you probably won't get to try her cooking. My favorite dish that she made was squid. I had never had it before, and I assumed it would be chewy, similar to fried calamari I've had previously. Boy, was I wrong. It melted in my mouth almost like butter. I can't speak for all of Portugal, but it was really something to see the fresh food that was prepared in their home daily. Fresh bread from the bakery with dinner every night, and always a delicious and healthy meal prepared. Aside from the great food prepared in a local home, the coffee shops and bakeries are full of delicious pastries. If you've been to Portugal, you're probably familiar with a pastel de nata, which is an egg custard tart pastry dusted with cinnamon upon request. There aren't words to describe how good this is. Another easy grab for a snack or lunch on the go is a cheese toastie, basically a toasted croissant with cheese. Yummy! If you visit Porto and you want to see a beautiful library, you don't want to miss this one, which I'm not going to try to pronounce. It is the oldest library in Portugal and is often referred to as one of the top bookstores in the world. There is an entrance fee, and it is a very busy tourist attraction, but it is beautiful and worth the visit. It is right in the heart of the city, so there is plenty to walk around and see in that area. Make sure your legs are ready for the walking though, because Porto is not a flat city. I was frequently trying to keep up with my friend who grew up walking these steep streets. You'll definitely get your workout in. While we were in Portugal, we also visited other beautiful little villages. Anytime you're exploring Europe, I have found some of the most beautiful places in little unknown towns. I had the good fortune of traveling with a friend who knew where to go. One more thing to mention about Portugal. Having a coffee generally means having an espresso. If you want a full cup of coffee, be sure to order an Americano. You know, that watered down coffee that Americans drink. I ended up in Portugal 2 more times over the course of that year, and it has definitely become a favorite of mine. I haven't had the chance to explore Lisbon yet, but I look forward to that in the future. Visiting Portugal was also a special experience for me because it is where my dad grew up. My grandfather was stationed there in the military, and I had always heard stories of my dad and his sisters and their life in a little city outside of Lisbon. This really brought that to life for me. Maybe one day I'll visit the actual places that they lived. I have followed the story of YouTuber family from the channel Our Rich Journey. They have retired early and moved to Portugal. It certainly has so many positive reasons to be a great retirement destination. After looking into residency options for Spain and Portugal, it appears that Portugal is a much better place when it comes to the retirement process and requirements. Of course, the Portuguese language is much more difficult than Spanish, in my opinion. You win some, you lose some. Lastly, I'd just like to say that Portugal is a very affordable destination, whether visiting short-term or long-term. Overall, it is a beautiful country and one that I would definitely put on your travel list. If you have learned something new here, I sure hope you'll join me by subscribing and liking this video, coming along on this journey where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.